Okay, it's live. Let's give it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey, this is the test run, part 2 of the Deep End podcast. And so this is me and Clay making sure all of our equipment works. You guys got to see Ryan Metzler earlier. No one is watching this, by the way, but maybe some people will watch it on YouTube later because they have nothing better to do with their lives than to listen to us ramble about our microphone equipment. But how's it going, man?
It's going good, man. I just actually got done with a game of Fields of Arla. Sorry I'm late. It's just I never get the chance to play with my wife, Ashley, and
it's Arla is a great two-player game.
Yeah, it took about half an hour longer than what I anticipated it being. We started about 7:45, and we got done about 10:20. So
how'd she like it?
She liked it, and she goes, well, this is a lot of there's a lot of decisions to make, and it's like a lot of stuff. And so one thing, man, and Joe, you are so good at doing this with games, and that's explaining them. And that's my weakness. I know what my weakness is now, and I cannot explain a game for crap. And I felt so bad because, if there was
you are one of the worst rule teachers I've ever met.
It's so true though, because if ESPN or someone was video recording me explaining Arla to her, it would be a train wreck. It was just so bad. But I was like, okay, let's just make it through 2 rounds. We'll go through summer and then we'll go through winter, and then if you want, we can continue going on. So we got through those 2 rounds, and it was really kind of choppy. I don't really know what we're doing. We're kind of doing stuff just to do it. And then after winter, that second round, it was yeah, okay, things are starting to okay, I can use this resource for this, that kind of thing. And we just continued playing, and every round it just continually got better and better. And I was like, I knew it. It's going to but if you were there, it would have been better.
My wife loves Arla too, and I really like it as well. But the one really thing about that game, though, is I would try to make sure you play that in the next week or so, because it is one of those ones that the reason I don't pull it off my shelf is because I have to go back through the rule book just to glimpse it and learn it again. Whereas some games, like when I play Agricola, I just know the game so well. But Arl, there's so many more things that it takes a lot more to get into, but we both really enjoy that game. But yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So my wife is the type of person that will be, we played Splendor for the first time. So the next night she's like, I'll play a game with you or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, let's play Russian Railroads. And it's no, let's play Splendor. We just played that. So I was like, all right. So we played it 20 times, and it's the same thing over and over again. And I told her after we were done with this game, I was like, how much do you like it? And she said, it's great. And I was like, this is the type of game that I could play over and over and over again because it's so deep. There's nothing is the same every game. And she kind of was like, okay, I see it.
And there's a lot going on. So yeah. Well, actually, that's something that me and Ryan were talking about earlier. We were talking about Uwe Rosenberg in general, because he had mentioned that the only out of all the Uwe Rosenberg games, he's owned all of them, and he literally has gotten rid of all of them but Caverna. And he likes Agricola better, but he kept Caverna because his wife likes it more.
Hey, that's a win-win, man.
Let me ask you, how many Uwe Rosenberg games do you own?
I actually, it's really weird. I looked at my shelf just before we played Arla, and I was like, what kind of Uwe games do I have? And I had Agricola, the original with the wooden cubes. I sold it, and I got Bargain Hunter, which is his game after Bonanza. It's a small card game, and it's a trick-taking game. I have that and Fields of Arla. That's all I've got.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I want Aura and Lobora. That's my all-time favorite.
That's my number one. I have everything Uwe right there. You can see in the little corner I have.
Yeah, I see it.
That's my little Uwe shelf right there. But
by the way, I just want to let you know, my backdrop, I will change that for next Saturday. I want to make sure that there's stuff showing there. So
it's fine. I wanted to pull a Tom Vassell and just have the games in the background, but it also provides a nice kind of sound buffer. So So I kind of went with that. But yeah, the one thing about Arla that me and a couple of people have talked about as far as that game goes, though, is we feel it's one of the most intricately designed Uwe Rosenberg games. Like, we feel like the interactions are so intricate in that game that they're different from all the other ones. Like, there's more intertwining mechanics in that game. And we were thinking that, is that because it was only designed for 2 players that he could have done that?
So I was going to ask you about that because, okay, you could kind of say Odin is a little bit of Arla plus Patchwork. I mean, for the most part.
I would say that's a good.
So I haven't played Odin yet, and I think you have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does it share the same types of mechanics that you were talking about as Arla?
No, I would say that it's just because it's so open, and Arl is kind of open. But what I'm more referring to is how the actions are very intricately intertwined together in Arla. Like, I'm doing this to do this to do this, and this affects this and this kind of a thing. And everything you do is kind of interweaving with your entire strategy. And my thought is, because when he designs, let's say, Agricola or Caverna, he has to make those mechanics so that they can bend and break to accommodate 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 players. He has to make those. He has to make the game so that the mechanics can bend and break and accommodate different player counts. And when you only have 2 players, period, you can do a lot more intricate things because you don't have to worry about your mechanics changing from gameplay to gameplay.
I can see that. It just coming fresh off the game, and how, especially since the action selection part of it is divided into 2 phases, and how they work with each other, and it's only 2 players. That is so true. I mean, to a T, it is true. I want to play Odin just to make sure that it's, Arla is more fine-tuned in that regards. But yeah, that I have not seen a game like that for just strictly 2 players or otherwise, where it's so tight and it's just so balanced in that respect.
I think Arl, and I'm not 100% positive, but Arl might be the heaviest 2-player only game on the market.
If you consider so War Games, I know like Navajo Wars, you can play 2 players, but it's not. It's okay. It's like here's a variant to play with 2 players, but
war games aren't board games. War games are war games.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm cool with doing that because you got Twilight Struggle, which is honestly, Twilight Struggle. But dude, I'm honestly like, war games aren't my thing, and I think it's just not for me. It's too random. There is so much randomness in that, and I don't like that.
Have you done a coin game?
No, and I need to. I've got Falling Sky.
Okay, cool. I have all of them, even though I don't need them. But I have them, and the thing about the coin games is they're not war games. They are area control Euro games that have a war game like theme. That's what they are.
Yeah, I see you got them there, and I want to try Cuba Libre. Like, that theme is, oh my god, it just hits on everything, man. And I heard it's the relatively shortest of the 3 or it's 6 or whatever.
It's the shortest, and at this point, I've kind of gotten to the point where Cuba Libre, if I want something short, but for the most part, if I'm going to pull out a coin game, I don't care if it's short. And the one I'm going to pull out is Falling Sky. Falling Sky is by far, like, it has the most going on. It's the heaviest. It has the most trappings in it. So it's like all the chrome is in Fire. Did I say Falling Sky?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Fire in the Lake. I'm sorry. I meant Fire in the Lake. The Vietnam one. That's the biggest. Yeah.
I've heard nothing but just like top shelf. I mean, this is like awesome. Like, this is the best coin game ever, and that's the one I've not played yet.
And the thing is, though, I want to play through them all like 2 more times and really just kind of see what's different and really kind of get those nuances down. But at the same time, they're such a hard thing to schedule. And at this point, I'm like, if I'm going to schedule something that long, I'm playing 18xx.
Yeah. That's to me, that's how I am. Like, I played Twilight Struggle a lot. I think like 8 or 9 times, and like over the course of a year. To me, that's a lot for like one war game, and I just got so burnt out on the the card play, the randomness of the dice rolling and stuff. And to me, and it's just a personality thing, it's not for me. And I appreciate the design. Don't get me wrong. It's a brilliant, everything is so interlaced, and the theme of the cards is beautiful. But if I were going to play a game like that, I would prefer more of a Euro-ish or 18xx style game. That's just me, though.
I know. So you played Arl today, and you had a good time. I got to play Great Western Trail today.
How was that?
I really enjoyed it. It was really good. I like it better than Mombasa. I can say that.
Wow.
Mombasa's great, but I really like this one because there's a lot going on in this game.
I heard Edward from Heavy Cardboard say that he likes Mombasa better, or Great Western Trail better than Mombasa,
and I think so too. It's a great game. And here's the thing. Everyone's doing the same thing in the game, but there are so many different ways to do it. Like you can go heavy building strategy, heavy train strategy, heavy delivery strategy, heavy getting the right kind of cattle and like culling your deck so that you have the perfect hand of cards, because there's a really good deck building mechanic in it, but it's such a small part of the game. But you can get a whole bunch of gold cards. And I just found it so cool that we played 3 players. All 3 of us our first play, and all 3 of us did incredibly different things. So I went super heavy train strategy, go figure. But I went super heavy train strategy and tried to make it so that I got really good deliveries. And I won. I had 120 points. The guy in second place went super heavy building strategy. All he was doing was building, and he still did some good deliveries. And he got 107 points. So I don't think that's when you're over 100, about 10 points. That's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, and then, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then the third guy did a little bit of everything. Like he was trying to dip his toes in all the stuff, and he got 47 points.
Wow. So is that a game where you can't specialize, or you're supposed to specialize in one thing?
No, I think he just didn't. He had an entire, because you start at one part of the board. You start at one part of the board, and you have to go through these different paths, and you stop as often as you want, and then at the end you make it to a delivery spot and then put something on the board, right? And so 2 things happened to him. So there's some really early cities, and you can go there, but if you deliver like really crappy hands of cards, like the cows, if you deliver really crappy cows, you have to go on these city spots, and if you get them in a row, you get like negative victory points, where if you do really high cities, you get positive victory points, right? So it's encouraging you not to just do crap deliveries, you know?
Yeah.
So what happened is he had an entire turn that he went through the board, and he could barely take an entire action. So while we were getting more workers and while we were building buildings and doing all this other stuff, he just had to skip all that stuff because he didn't have the right stuff to do it. He didn't have enough money. He didn't plan well. And then the very end of the game, because you have a train that moves along this track, and there's cities on this track, and you put your discs in these cities, and how many points your cows are worth dictate how high of a city you can go to. And so what had happened is he had gotten to a lot of the higher level cities, but he had also done some lower level cities, but he had spaced them out so he wasn't going to take negative victory points. His very last delivery of the game, his very last turn, he had to deliver all of his cows, and he had so few points worth of cows in his hands that he had to put a disc out, and it gave him negative 10 victory points.
Oh my God, dude. That's brutal.
It was insane.
That's
wow. Yeah, go ahead.
Alexander Pfister, man. I mean, that guy,
he's on fire.
It's ridiculous, dude. I mean, that guy, anything he puts out is so good.
I hope
unbelievable.
I like Isle of Skye. I have it. I think it's a good game. I think it fires Castles of Mad King Ludwig, which I don't like very much anyway. But I hope he keeps doing more heavy stuff like Mombasa and like Great Western Trail. You know,
yeah,
people are really eating that stuff up.
I mean, they're just the awards that they're getting. It's a good way to promote the heavy games. I completely agree with that for sure.
So I'm going to rant real quick. Okay, because you're a
Oh,
publisher,
bring it, bro. Bring it.
and I have a publisher rant. Okay,
Okay.
you know how games come in for the most part 2-size boxes, the Ticket to Ride size square boxes,
Yep.
and like the Arkwright kind of rectangular boxes. You know, Arkwright's a little fatter, but like that Arkwright Castles of Burgundy, those are like the same size box. You know, that rectangular size.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind whatever size box a person wants to put their game in. I don't care. And I know that a lot of that has to do with the board size. But no matter what size box you put your game in, if you put it in one of those square size Ticket to Ride boxes, do not ever, every publisher out there, quit making manuals that are the size of a Ticket to Ride box. Quit. Make a book sized, make a booklet sized rule book. Quit making rule books that are the size
Of a table.
of this box. Quit doing it. It's so annoying because you have these big floppy pages and you're trying to look through and they rip and they tear and you're looking and you have a rule book that is this size. This is the size of your rule book, and you're flipping pages, and the pages are all floppy, and they're just it's hard to find stuff. You have to find this giant table. Just add 2 extra pages and make it a regular booklet-sized, easy-to-reference. Oh, I don't even care if the rule book's good or not. I'm fine dealing with bad rule books. I buy Spielworks games. I deal with bad rule books all the time.
That guy is, yeah.
But I'm talking about the size of the rule book. It
I get
pisses me off.
It hurts my head when I'm reading Mombasa. It's like, all right, I gotta read. Like you're just as you read each line, your head moves the entire page. It's just like
it's
typewriter
so
style.
Much.
Yeah. And then, and then if you're like at the table and you have to like break it out, it's like, hey, let me just break out this rule book. Like, okay, it's just massive. So
I'm telling you, man, we were passing around the rule book to Great Western Trail today, and I was just sitting there like, this is so annoying. This is
the same size as Mombasa.
Yeah, it's the Ticket to Ride size box, so they make it the entire size of the box, and it has the big floppy pages that open up, and it's annoying.
It's over a foot long, and yeah, I get you, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you rather have that or a Spielworks rulebook?
You know what?
Have you read?
I'd rather.
Time out before you answer. Have you read Solarius Mission yet?
It's coming to me on Thursday.
Okay. Damn it.
Okay.
I'll
let you know. I would rather have a Spielworks rulebook, and my reason is eventually we'll get reprinted.
Okay. Yep. That's exactly true. Any Spielworks game is going to be reprinted,
except for Haithabu. I don't think anyone wants to touch that one.
Unless there's a variant. I don't know, dude. I have not played that, and I heard just every person playing that. Maybe one reviewer's. You do? Have you played it?
No, I haven't played it. I bought it because it was $16 on sale, and so I was like, it's a Spielworks game. I might as well buy it, right?
Yeah, I would.
The only Spielworks game I'm missing is, as you can see, the only one I'm missing is Age of Reason by Mark Wallace.
Find that. You are not going to find that. That is so.
There's a couple of copies on the Geek for $125, and I've got to tell you, I have been tempted.
Wow, I didn't know it was 120. That's not that bad. I mean,
no,
some like 18xx games.
Oh yeah, I was looking at it, and like 18, the number one 18xx game that I haven't played and that I want to play is 1817. And to buy that thing brand new from Deep Thought, or I think All Aboard Golden Spike or All Aboard, one of them also carries it, is $250 almost.
Oh man, wow.
It's $217, and then if you want the extra tokens so that you can keep track of stuff, it's another like $12, and then another $14 for shipping. It's like a $250 game.
That's ridiculous. That should never be that high. I mean, that is.
But it's because they're handmade. It's the same reason that like Clinic cost $100. You know, Clinic I think costs $75 when you buy it, and when you get it, it's paper. Like it's paper and cubes.
I saw your copy. Yeah, I was like, "Is this a prototype you got there?"
Yeah.
No, that's Clinic.
Oh, the worst one that I've seen is right there, Infamous Traffic by Cole Worley. I just got
That's
it.
bad.
No, the game's fine. The production is awful. I can show you real quick here. So
Let me hold on. I got to time out just 1 second on this real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So check this out. This is the map.
That's the map? That's like a GMT.
This is the board, and it comes in 2 pieces.
Oh, no.
No. Yeah, so this is the map. Hold on. These are the player boards.
Wow.
Player boards. It's paper. It's just paper. It shows the map. It's not laminated, nothing. Hold on. Couple chits. Bag of dice. There was 1 punch board worth of chits. I'm going to ask you, how much did this game cost?
Let me see this. How many wooden pieces are there?
None.
There's no wooden pieces?
It's these 2 pieces of paper.
Okay.
These, which look hand cut. I mean, you can see the border around them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's paper.
Wow, that's thin.
A rule book, which is again just very thin, not a lot in it. Some chits, which was 1 punch board worth of chits.
1 punch board, okay.
These generic dice and these blue cubes. That's it. That's everything in the game.
Wooden cubes?
Everything. Yeah. Just this many, though.
Are there, how many,
That's it.
dice wooden or are they plastic?
The dice are just generic plastic dice.
How many prints do you think there were? Is that
no
the box?
idea. Yeah, this is the box.
I would say, was this released at Essen?
No, this came out just like around BGG Con. It was just produced, but just
I would say, man, it depends where it was made. I would say $6, $7.
No. I'm not talking about how much it costs. I'm talking about how much do you think that thing should retail for?
Oh, okay. Retail?
How much do you think it should retail for?
You could do that one for $40.
It costs $50.
Okay, all right.
So you're not off, but it's because, and the thing is, we that play heavy games know, these things, they're small print runs. They cost, it costs so much to produce them. They only make a couple hundred copies of them. They don't make giant 5,000 copy print runs. They cost a lot more, and we know this, and so we're okay buying that.
Yeah, that one, that's not bad for $50. That's a small, that's a small print run. So $50 isn't. That's not bad.
The components make it look like it should be a $20 game, though.
Exactly, but you got to think the wooden and the acrylic dice, that's going to increase cost. But the player board and mat,
but that's the thing. It has less stuff in it than my copy of my Phil Eklund games, and my Phil Eklund games cost me $25, $30.
Well, you got to think like Spielworks, the North American Railways. That's a deck of cards that are like the little tiny Ticket to Ride size cards, and
the worst paper money that's ever existed.
Yeah, that's bad paper money. And what is it, like 12 wooden pieces or something like that?
Yeah.
10 wooden, 11, and that was $39 or 39 euros.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but that's 1,000, or that was 600 copies. So it really depends on the number of copies you have. That you're printing. That's a huge factor. And if it's in Europe or China.
That's good.
But that's another topic. Yeah.
But, well, we got enough audio, so that's all good. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this broadcast. It automatically uploads itself to YouTube, so it's going to be there, and I'm going to play with the audio this week. But it's good to see that you got your mic working so we can work out those issues.
Yeah, we'll be good on Saturday for sure. There's
you need to get on that.
I want to.
You need to get on the Google Doc and update your info. You haven't put anything on there.
I'm going to do that tomorrow. Okay, so is this off air? Can we like talk off air?
Yeah, let me stop the broadcast and then I'll get back to you, okay?